Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our friends from various parts of the world and different time zones. The response for this webinar is mind-boggling, and we have almost 600 delegates from all parts of the world. Welcome to the webinar hosted jointly by SEA and GLOBOIL. This is our first attempt at reaching out to our stakeholders through the digital medium. If there are some glitches, please excuse us. We also take this opportunity of welcoming Madam Shubha Thakur, Joint Secretary, Agriculture Ministry, Government of India, as observer. We are also privileged to have amongst us Mr. Ashok Dalwai, Chairman Task Force for Doubling Farmers' Income, Madam Mukta Thakur, Joint Secretary Food, Dr. S.K. Malhotra, Agriculture Commissioner of India, and our sincere thanks to all our honored guests. Our Prime Minister has already exhorted officials to work towards self-sufficiency in all fields. Edible oil cannot be ignored, with import dependence now touching almost 70%. The presence of such senior officials at this webinar shows that policymakers now are getting serious to augment oilseed production and work towards self-sufficiency. Before moving on, I would like to congratulate Kailash Bhai and Mehtaji and their team who have put together this webinar at a very short notice. Friends, we are living in interesting times. By the time this lockdown is lifted, we would be totally changed individuals. The world around us is also changing beyond recognition. Social distancing, work from home, stress on personal hygiene are becoming the social norm. In the short to medium term, cinema, marriage celebrations, eating in hotels and restaurants, social gathering, travel and tourism are bound to suffer big time. Discretionary spending as well as conspicuous consumption are also going to be affected. All these behavioral changes are bound to affect our vegetable oil sector. Stakeholders would be well advised to watch these changing social behaviors and calibrate their responses accordingly to stay relevant in these turbulent times. Whether we like it or not, COVID-19 is leading us into massive demand destruction across sectors. With so much turmoil around us, how can edible oil sector remain unaffected? We are witnessing edible oil imports coming down, and palm oil seems to be one of the worst sufferers. Palm oil is getting hammered not only because of out-of-home consumption and institutional requirement coming down, but also because crude oil prices are moving southwards and collapsing, resulting in biodiesel blending becoming a painful exercise. How much palm oil and soya oil will finally move from fuel to food may determine the prices going forward. It would be interesting to hear the views of our experts on this. The China-USA trade pact seems to be entering a decisive phase, and with US elections in November and President Trump being driven to the corner by coronavirus, we can be sure the situation is going to become much more messier than what it is at present. The impact this will have on edible oil and oilseed values would be interesting to watch. I'm sure our learned experts would throw some light on this. Post-COVID world is likely to become more and more inward-looking, and globalization is likely to take a backseat. This has the potential of altering commodity trade flows. Further, countries have now started using trade as a weapon to settle political scores. USA and China showed the way, and now many countries are following suit. Our own neighborhood, which is Southeast Asia, is also feeling the heat in this respect, and this will surely affect vegetable oil prices in our region. Friends, Social media and television these days is full of armchair experts advising us of corona impact on our businesses and what needs to be done to tackle the same. Problem is, most of these so-called experts have no idea of running businesses, and their claim to fame is only that they are glib talkers. To base our decisions on their advices would be suicidal. Keeping this in mind, we decided to rope in real experts who understand the nuances and can crystal gaze how things would pan out when lockdown gets lifted for good. The speakers we have lined up to share their views are top strategic thinkers in their field and need no introduction. Friends, generally in all seminars, especially the Globe Oil, we have Dorab Bhai speaking on the last day. The idea is basically to ensure that everybody stays in the hall and doesn't move out. Today, Dorab Bhai being a great cricket fan, we have requested him to open the batting and set the ball rolling. Dorab Bhai follows vegetable oil markets very closely and his views are lapped up by our fraternity. Over to Dorab Bhai, who would be speaking on overview of international vegetable oil scenario. Over to Dorab Bhai. Thank you.